Wakey, wakey, hands off, Snakey. You know what time it is. It's Saturday morning, December the 7th, 2024. We all know what happened last night.
Same thing that happens every Friday night.
You went out, you had too much to drink, you hit on the wrong type of girls, you got shot down in flames. We'll talk about AC/DC in a little bit. But that's what we're here for. Your Uncle Dave.
And your Uncle Kev.
We're here to nurse you through that hangover, but at the same time, go military on your ass.
Get the coffee brewing. Fry up the eggs and bacon. You know, pound a couple of aspirin with a glass of water. Start getting yourself right
and that
for
coffee,
tonight.
That coffee better be black. I better not see any International Delight caramel mocha shit going in that. Straight black, hard fuel. No hot... Well, you put hot sauce on the eggs, right? You can do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Get some Frank's, put that shit on everything.
There you go. By the way, not a sponsor.
We just like Frank's Red Hot sauce.
Well, call us Frank's if you want to be a sponsor.
Because I do. I use it quite frequently.
Oh, you're talking about two guys here who put hot sauce, hot shit on everything. By the way, this is the pop culture edition, so I will do an aside here real quick. I have found the greatest over-the-counter salsa ever.
Really?
You know, not like a little place in Texas. Pace. We all know Pace, right?
Yeah.
You can't find this in a normal grocery store, but this is a Pace product. Ghost Pepper Habanero Salsa.
Good Lord, man.
I can get it from Amazon for $2.50. And I'm telling you, it will burn your face off. And I love it!
See, I don't like not being able to enjoy things that much.
Oh, I need to sweat.
See, there's sweating and then there's not being able to enjoy the flavor.
We're talking about chips, though. I'm not talking about putting it on actual food. I'm talking about just dipping a nacho chip in it. Nacho chip doesn't have flavor.
No, but I like the flavor instead of just numbing my tongue for no reason.
Nothing wrong.
There's a balance.
Nothing wrong with a numb tongue.
There's gotta be a balance.
Many people who listen to this podcast wish I had a numb tongue. Let me tell you that. And there's many women I've met in the past that would wish the same thing. But that being said, you know what we always start the weekend edition off with, your favorite politically incorrect pop culture commentary podcast. It's all about the rock and roll, Dave.
It is, and this is dropping December 7th, 2024. So we are recapping last weekend's concert, the Jackyl Thanksgiving family reunion at the 8 Second Saloon in Indy. Yes, Black Friday.
Last year they did Thanksgiving, which threw everything off kilter.
Yeah, screwed us over. Back to Black Friday. Jackyl in all their glory. Yeah, we had to deal with the opening act again, Spanky's Playhouse.
And I'm still shocked by the fact that a couple times during the show, Jesse James Dupree mentioned that was the 11th show they've done at 8 Second Saloon.
Yeah.
And I swear we have seen all but 3 of them. I think we missed the first one, and then we missed COVID 2020, and then last year, Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I thought there might have...
Or 2021 was the COVID.
Right.
2020 was probably canceled completely.
Right.
2021 might have been a COVID issue. Because remember,
yes.
you had COVID.
I had COVID.
We missed Billy Idol and Jackyl.
Yeah.
I don't think they had a show in 2020.
There was nothing 2020. So.
And then last year because of Thanksgiving instead of Black Friday. But otherwise, this was probably our 8th.
Probably.
Our 8th
show. Time going to see them. And it was one of the best that they've been.
the sound was so much better.
It was. It was great.
And did I or did I not point out to you that normally where they set up with the engineer,
The soundboard usually would have been behind us normally. This time it was up on the stage right if you're on the stage, left from the crowd perspective.
and I think it helped. I think whatever they did, whatever change they made helped because the sound was so much better. Everybody was in the mix. Everybody sounded great. The
Yes.
guitars were more up front.
Yeah, it overall was a great experience on the sound side.
Yep. Now, did we get the longest Jackyl show ever? No.
No.
This was a tight hour-and-a-half show. They have been varying the set list, it looks like, a little bit, city by city. Not much.
Not a lot, but we got most of what we wanted.
I'm worried that they're going PC on us, though, Dave.
Maybe a little bit.
Because as I listened to the first album here over the past week, I realized they are not playing one of our favorite songs anymore. And I looked at set lists for all the shows a week before, a week after what we saw.
They're not playing She Loves My Cock.
That's a national tragedy.
It is.
Been
Now-
all around the world, been all around the block. But she loves my cock. How do you not play that?
Yeah, but they're at least still playing better than Chicken.
Yeah, they work better than Chicken in with Dirty Little Mind.
I don't know that
Yeah,
I
so
like that.
how can you play better than Chicken?
And not She Loves My Cock.
Yeah. So you can say Poontang,
I like
but not
Poontang
cock.
better than Chicken.
You can say Poontang, but not cock. What are the rules anymore? What are the rules in this
what are
crazy
we
mixed up
doing
society?
What are we doing?
And then you were mad because they didn't play Just Because I'm Drunk?
Yeah, we didn't get that one this time.
Although they are still playing that again. This is one of the songs
just one of the mixes.
they switch in and out. We got Secret of the Bottle instead.
Yep.
But for the most part, still got
it went off as we had hoped.
Yes. Didn't get any references to the dope smoking hippies.
No, we didn't this time around.
Yeah.
It's about every other time. But no, still very, very good.
Yep.
A lot of fun.
And I just want to say that when you go to a Jackyl show, not only are you getting true blue rock and roll up on stage, love the fans. Fans are...
Oh, the fans...
Now, they can get drunk, they can get rowdy, but
no fights this year.
It is a family reunion. Well, we talked about how they have kind of taken the general admission standing room only stuff at the front of the stage and condensed it down.
The pit is a little bit smaller.
Yep, and you have to buy actual seats now at tables. They've expanded that area, so that'll calm things down a little bit.
Yeah, and then you still have you got the pit, then you've got the table seating, and then you've got the general admission.
Yep.
So, general admission wasn't as full as usual, but still a very enthusiastic and lively crowd.
Yep.
So much fun.
Tradition is a wonderful thing,
It is.
especially when you're dealing with a band like Jackyl.
Yep. And introduced my youngest, Nick, this year. Finally 21, got to go. We introduced Connor a couple years ago with your daughter, Cassidy. Cassidy, not so much a fan.
No.
Connor loved going back, and both boys say yes again for next year.
I'm happy. I can never tell with Connor. Connor's very hard to read. So the fact that he's back for 2 years wanting to go third, okay.
Yeah.
Nick, I was. He looked like he was having a good time, but I was.
Both of them were a little low key on it,
Yeah.
but he wasn't sure exactly what to expect, but what he knew he was going with, and he was getting into it.
And like I told him, you got to learn the songs for next year.
Yep. Now you know.
Because it's a sing along. And by the way,
time.
even though it's not a Jackyl song, one of my favorite moments is Suspicious Minds.
Yes, when they do that one.
I love when they play Suspicious. They've been doing that here recently over the past few years.
Yeah.
Love it.
So much fun.
Yep. They definitely pay homage to their musical roots.
Yep. It's just a fun damn show to go to.
Yeah, I would recommend Jackyl to anybody and everybody, but I know there are some of you who will still somehow, even though they don't play She Loves My Cock, they will still be offended. Especially if they say, I love poontang better than chicken.
I like laughing better than bitching.
Yeah. We just do what we can. And all we can do here on our politically correct pop culture podcast is tell you that Jackyl is awesome.
Yep. Hey, y'all.
What?
You want to hear a story?
Yeah.
So much fun.
Now, I'm going to do something here to wrap this up. And you can chastise me or you can agree with me. Looking at the set list for what we just saw last weekend with Jackyl. Now, I would think you and I should be considered Jackyl aficionados, Jackyl connoisseurs. So if we were going to tweak this set list, what would you do? Now, I already know you want Just Because I'm Drunk.
Right.
But I'm not taking out Secret of the Bottle.
No, you have to add that one.
See, they should be back to back.
You should go from one to the other.
Like an alcohol. I take out Cut the Crap.
Yep.
I don't need Cut the Crap. And I don't need Just Like a Devil.
No.
So I would
knock those two out.
I would keep Secret of the Bottle, bring in Just Because I'm Drunk, play those back to back. Right after, like A Country Boy Can Survive, go into and then you bring in
She Loves My Cock.
That should still be the second to last song.
It should be. It should be there right before Lumberjack.
And I still think Redneck Punk should be up at the front.
Yeah,
I think that should be right after Blast Off.
That should be getting everybody into it.
Yep.
So, hit Blast Off, then go into Redneck Punk.
My Moonshine
Kicks Your Cocaine's Ass.
Yep.
Perfect where that was
Still love Encore and Screwdriver back to back.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yep, and then you get into the hits. I love Push Comes to Shove. I don't want that out of the set list.
No, that needs to stay.
I love that song. So just a few tweaks, a few suggestions.
A couple little tweaks, and then it could be perfect.
Yep. And we need a new album. Guys, get into the studio. Give us a new album.
Come on, Jesse. You just did your solo. Now you can bring the guys back in.
Yep. So, boy. Strong 3.5 frenzy.
Yes, absolutely.
Very, very hard to give anything the prestigious 4 frenzies.
It takes a lot.
Yes. So this is very close. Like we said, if
they would have tweaked it, if they would have gone 2 hours, 4. It would have been a 4.
Yep. Or if we got a little cock, 4. Little cock would have got you 4 frenzies.
There you go.
Jesse, just keep that in mind. All right, before we get into our songs of the week, it's time to do a little bitching. Yes. I cannot stand the current state of affairs in the concert marketplace.
It's frustrating. It's annoying. It's a shit show for the true fans.
What brings us to this point yet again? AC/DC.
Our latest Case in point.
Announces their 2025 Power Up U.S. Summer Stadium Tour. And I get it. AC/DC is one of the biggest bands in the world, and I understand only playing massive football stadiums. Understand it completely, but when we're getting to the point where going to a concert is going to end up costing you more than your utility payments and your cable bill combined for a month, it's getting a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
AC/DC, for us, where we are, the closest venue is Soldier Field. Now, part of this is because Chicago is a corrupt shit show. And they tack
And the
on
taxes
all
are
the
fucking
taxes.
ridiculous.
And it's only for Soldier Field. Only for Soldier Field. Remember last year we bought tickets?
Yeah, because they're still trying to pay off the Soldier Field renovation.
Yeah, because we bought tickets last year. Now it got canceled, postponed. We got our money back, but we bought tickets at the Huntington Bank Pavilion, which is right off Soldier Field, for Queens of the Stone Age.
Yeah.
And those tickets, there were no massive taxes involved.
No, this
So
is...
this, like you say, this is all trying to recoup all that money for the Bears for Soldier Field.
And the Bears don't even own Soldier Field, so it's the city trying to pay off the renovations.
300 level.
Nosebleeds. About as far away from the stage as you can be.
$213.
After fees.
And taxes.
And taxes. Mostly taxes. 145 face.
Yep. Can't do it. I can't do it. As much as we talked about, this was going to be one of the few shows where
we were willing to spend.
Yes, yeah, I talk a big game. I'll admit it. But
we
this is a little
we
ridiculous.
were thinking that much for maybe the 200 level.
A little bit better. A little bit better.
Yeah. But, and then, pre-sale only for season ticket holders of the Bears games. And you went on, and there was almost nothing left.
Yeah, by the time I was able to get the link...
Right.
And the passcode, because you had to have both a link and a passcode. You couldn't just buy them through Ticketmaster. 4 hours after they went on sale, there was basically nothing left, but there were like individual seats.
Yeah, one-offs here and there.
Yeah, that's how I found out how much the tickets are going to run. Now, this is Saturday morning, so they happened to go on sale yesterday. As you're listening to this, as we tape this, it's 2 days away. But
so it's looking like we wouldn't have even had an opportunity.
Right.
If you wouldn't have stumbled upon the pre-sale.
Right. But I prefer to at least know going in whether we've got a shot or not, price-wise or opportunity.
Right.
And I don't think either one is feasible.
No.
And
no.
It kills me because I know your boys want to see AC/DC. You want to see AC/DC.
Yeah, but even my boys, as bad as they want to see them, heard the price and said, hell no, we're not paying that much for being that high up.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's not like a situation where there have been shows where the demand wasn't all that great at the beginning, so the prices stabilized, came down. They're going to go up.
Yeah, these are
the
going
ticket
up
brokers
for sure.
are just going to rape everybody.
Yeah.
And I don't care if you want to be mad about me using that. That's what these ticket brokers and Ticketmaster and Live Nation do, is they're raping us with their prices. They're destroying the model, the economic model for the fans, the true fans who want to see these shows. We've talked about Jack White here recently, $100 standing room only.
Yeah, no.
At 20 Monroe Live in Grand Rapids, and then they were gone in a blink of an eye, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, they're over $200 on the secondary market for standing room tickets.
Yeah, so you get all the brokers buying up the tickets and then making a killing because the true fans can't get them.
And we've said this, I know, over the last couple weeks, and I'll emphasize it one more time and I'm done. For us, you and I go to see, along with Mrs. C, sometimes with the boys, go to see usually between 12 and 15 concerts a year.
Yep.
And we've been doing that for well over a decade. We have nothing lined up. We've got Night Ranger coming tonight, as you're listening to this, December the 7th, and then that's it. We have
nothing
no tickets.
on tap for next year.
Nothing. Because ticket prices are getting ridiculous.
And we've
the
already...
hoops you have to jump through now with additional parking costs at venues that normally wouldn't have charged in the past. All that bullshit. I'm done with it. I'm done with it.
It's very difficult to go anymore. It's very difficult. There really has to be something special at a decent price.
And it wasn't enough that they're charging $20 for a beer, or $10 for a hot dog, or $5 for a bottle of water. Although thank God they finally figured out maybe that was, degrading to humanity, and they should put water stations in.
You think, and let you bring your own water in?
I think that was a little bit more about lawsuits.
Mm-hmm.
Where they were realizing they were going to get sued.
Yeah.
People getting in the hot sun in the middle of the summer in the outdoor venues, not having access to water.
You gotta be able to bring in your own water. And then have your bottle to refill.
Yeah, it wasn't some kind of generosity on their part.
No, it was a legal issue.
Yeah. It's garbage. You want rich people to go to these shows, not the true rock and roll fans. And God help me, I hope in the next year or two you get your comeuppance and somebody looks at the books and says, oh, well, we've got 5,000 less people for this show, 6,000 people less for this show. Why?
Because you're greedy bastards.
We're not putting up with your shit anymore.
Done.
Oh, the latest show they announced at Ruoff. You ready for this?
Now what?
Avril Lavigne.
Really? She's still around?
Yeah. The lineup for Ruoff, now charging for parking outside of Indianapolis, charging for parking and not letting you bring in your outside lawn chair. And the lineup is abysmal.
Yeah, it's
so
pretty
far.
bad.
Sorry.
End of rant.
I will drop it. I will leave it alone from here on out. But the AC/DC thing, that's the final straw to me. The final straw. You don't care about the rock and roll fans. You don't care about us.
It's over.
Yep.
All right. Oh, and speaking of Jack White, in your rant, we have his latest release, the single, You Got Me Searching.
Yep, he released this in conjunction with the announcement for his overpriced 2025 tour.
Yeah.
Now you have to separate. I've always said this. You got to separate as best you can.
The artist from
the art.
The art.
So
hear the art.
Great album. No Name was an unbelievable album. And now we get a bonus track coinciding with the announcement of the tour. And it's amazing to me he left this off the album.
How was this not on? How did this not kick off the album? This song is phenomenal.
Yeah, it would have fit perfectly on this album.
Yeah, I loved this one.
Yep, and this is, again, like many of the songs on No Name, it sounds like it would have been well suited for the White Stripes.
Yes. It's got that bluesy,
hard rock bluesy feel to it.
Feel.
We're not looking for depth in the lyrics.
No, that's not what we always want.
Yep. And we'll get to that in our next song, too, because the blues is a certain structure, a certain feel, a certain sound, lyrically and musically.
Yes. So I'm giving You Got Me Searching a solid 3.5.
I will give it a strong 3. Very highly recommended by both of us.
Yep. This one hit.
Yep.
So
Now that moves us on to Chris Tapp. Not Christopher Tapp. I noticed that there's a Christopher Tapp
yeah.
who was involved in a very weird crime situation. So you have to search for Chris Tapp, who is, of course, the lead singer, guitarist for The Cold Stairs. And he's got a solo album coming out here next year. So he's got the first single out from that album called Old Lady Blues.
Not bad.
There are a couple of interesting references in this song, lyrically.
There are.
Now, again, musically, it is standard blues, standard hard rock blues, just like Jack White. So, in that way, it's very dependable, very solid. But the two references I'm looking at are he basically cribs an entire line from When the Levee Breaks.
Yeah.
And then he makes almost a blatant homage to Van Halen, Take Your Whiskey Home, where he says you have to choose between your whiskey and your woman.
Yeah, I am avoiding our 2.5.
That's fine. That's fine. I thought about that too. I thought about it too.
I got to go a weak, maybe the weakest of 3s.
Yeah. Yeah,
I wanted to
we did a little fist bump there because we're trying to do a service to you guys.
2.5 is a cop
We
out.
will go to 2.5 if it's absolutely necessary and cannot be avoided, because that's the middle ground.
Yeah.
2 is can't recommend but pretty good still. 3 is definitely recommend but has some weak spots.
The weakest of 3s is as close to a 2.5 as we can give.
Yep, I'm with you 100%. Yeah.
So,
It doesn't really break any new ground.
No,
but it's comfortable, it's familiar.
Yeah.
In his
it's decent.
Yeah. So recommendations all around. Go see Jackyl live if you can. Jack White's new bonus track. And Chris Tapp.
Old Lady Blues.
Check them all out.
Worth your while.
Yep, next week. Our final concert review for a while. Dun dun dun. For a long time.
Yeah, who knows how long.
But if we're going to end this streak, why not end it on a high note with the great, the glorious Night Ranger at the Lerner Theater in Elkhart, Indiana. As you're listening to this, we are getting geared up. We are getting prepared. December the 7th is the concert night.
Yep, and this will be the first Night Ranger experience for the boys.
Yep.
They've been wanting to go, and they finally get the opportunity.
And I know I've said this for months and months, and I'm not trying to be cryptic, but this just feels weird that these bands are all lining up. You know, we saw Sammy Hagar playing old Van Halen a couple months ago, and now we're seeing Jackyl, and we're seeing all the old reliable bands. We saw Living Colour earlier this year, Rival Sons, all the bands that we know and love.
Yep, we got Roger Klein and the Peacemakers this year.
Yes, it just seems eerie to me. This almost seems like our farewell.
Live music going away.
Yes.
Is there going to be
I don't believe that 100% for sure.
Is the mass upheaval beginning?
I just want to see what kind of concert schedule Ruoff puts out there this year. That will tell me. The second, by many accounts, many rating websites, Polestar, the second most popular venue in America, where we go all the time. Last year's lineup was weak, and this year looks
Even
unbelievably weak. Now, you could say that's because I'm an old fogey.
A couple years ago when we got the lawn pass was a very solid lineup, though.
Right. But a lot of those bands aren't touring or aren't drawing the crowds they used to.
Right.
No, it's not the absolute end. You and I will end up going to see Iron Maiden.
We'll pick some
we
stuff
will
up.
see Iron Maiden in 2025.
Steel Panther we've got coming down the line.
Yep. We'll have that one as well. We'll still see Jackyl on Black Friday.
We're going to have to shell out for Yachtly Crew, you know that.
And by the way, in a couple weeks, if Dave wants to watch it, the Yacht Rock documentary on Max, I'll have it ready whenever he wants to, if he wants to watch it.
We'll see if we can work it in
I did
there.
actually find on ultimateclassicrock.com, they had a great list of the 50 greatest yacht rock songs of all time. And I had to, it's a great list.
I'm sure it is.
I would be interested to see you look at the list and get your
Yes,
honest
no,
opinion.
No,
yes,
no, yes, no,
yes.
Hell no.
Yeah. I don't think you'd say hell no to any of them.
Probably not.
There wasn't anything egregiously
awful.
Well, there were a couple Hall & Oates songs, though. But early Hall & Oates, not 80s. This is all 70s.
All right.
So, we'll have that for you, all that stuff coming in the couple of weeks before Christmas, because you will get me, yes, as much as you are loath to admit it, you love me when I'm alone. That's what she said. Because of the way the calendar falls.
The holiday season interferes with our taping schedule.
So you've got Dave for the next 2 weeks. And then after that, you've got me through the Christmas and New Year's holidays. And we'll have some fun stuff for you. I'll come up with some things that Dave wouldn't normally want to review.
There you go.
Yep. Oscar stuff, probably.
Probably.
I'll review some pretentious movies.
Why do you continue to subject yourself to that drivel?
Can I tell you something? We haven't got to the movie. We're getting into the movies. Let's use this as our segue to the movies.
This is a segue to movies here on Spotify, Good Pods, Pocket Casts, Apple, Overcast, Castbox, Amazon, Audible, and iHeart Sports Frenzy, baby.
Otherwise known as iHeartRadio. We love all of our podcast platform hosts. Don't forget to check out the Facebook page for a link to each and every episode of the Weekend Edition.
And the sports, which drops on Thursdays.
So you guys, if you've been listening for a while, you know we reference our kids. We've been referencing Dave's Boys here all throughout the music segment because first time for Nick to see Jackyl. Doesn't look like it's going to work because of the cost for AC/DC. We'll get him to see Steel Panther. My daughter, a little bit more on the snowflake side of things. Recently, we discussed a particular movie. And this is, before we get into our reviews, this is a movie we reviewed a couple months ago. And Dave and I both, can I speak for you, hated.
Oh, this was the worst fucking movie ever.
I saw the TV glow, right? We hated it.
It was worse than Donnie fucking Darko.
Another movie my daughter loves.
What the fuck?
She actually did mention that.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Oh my god, she's killing me. I know Donnie Darko is this cult favorite. It fucking sucks.
I saw the TV Glow just got nominated for Film of the Year by one of these top independent websites.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Nope. One of the 5 finalists.
Oh my God. What is wrong with people?
It must be us, Dave. There must be something wrong with us.
Oh my God.
My daughter's right. We just didn't get it.
There's nothing to get. It was stupid.
It's a deep exploration of gender transition.
Bullshit. It was a stupid fucking no point at all.
I'm just warning you.
Good
This is the end of the year.
God.
And by the way,
This is the end of the world as we know it.
In 2 weeks, and I feel fine. In 2 weeks,
our best
our best of the year is coming. In 2 weeks, our top 5 concerts, songs, albums, and movies of 2024. That will be our Christmas gift to you on our final podcast together in 2024. And I guarantee you, I saw the TV glow.
Will not make the cut.
Sorry, Cassidy. Sorry, baby. All right, now for the movies we're reviewing this week. Dave and I both watched The Mousetrap. Yes, we are obsessed with these silly, ridiculous horror movies that are coming out now.
We love horror movies.
And now with all these classic characters coming out in the public domain. And we've already done the Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 1 and 2. We've got next year, what do we got? Pinocchio and Peter Pan and the Pooniverse.
Yes, the Pooniverse all leading up to...
When they all come together, Pooniverse assemble. But this one is not... It's of the same spirit, but not connected.
No. And it's not connected or endorsed with Disney or any of the subsidiaries.
As we got the Star Wars scroll at the beginning.
It was the generic space movie scroll.
Right. That was probably one of the best parts of the movie.
That was original. I enjoyed that.
Yes. No, really. No, really.
Oh,
there is a certain sense of humor to this movie.
Yeah, there are moments to this movie which were really good.
So The Mousetrap is basically one of these movies where low budget,
very
low
budget.
Basically looked like it was filmed over 2 nights in a Chuck E. Cheese somewhere. But when all these characters came into public domain recently, one of them was the Steamboat Willie version of Mickey Mouse.
Yep. And so a serial killer dons the Steamboat Willie mask.
I still don't understand what happened there. I don't want to be
it's
involved in
very bizarre.
An open power cord and vodka. Yeah, I don't get that. And some kind of bizarre, hypnotic, paranormal quality to the Steamboat Willie cartoon.
It actually started before the vodka thing.
Yeah.
It was weird.
And it's told in flashback by one of the characters who survived, with a couple of detectives grilling her
as she's behind bars.
It's not the worst I've ever seen, but it's definitely not the best. Let's put it that way. What they were working with, the low budget they were working with, I'll give them a modicum of credit for what they did.
For what they were doing with their budget, I liked it up until the end.
I didn't have a problem with the end.
There was nothing.
It was an homage to Saw, is what it was. Think about it.
Yeah, but
the way they ended it was an homage to Saw.
In a very weak way.
And I don't want to, again, spoil a lot, so you and I can talk a little bit about this off mic. But I thought the ending worked because of two things. Number one, once again, paying tribute to Saw, and then a certain person gets killed that you wouldn't expect to get killed.
I was kind of expecting it, but I was expecting more.
See, I thought that the big problem was the middle. I thought the middle part of the movie.
Were a couple, and there were a couple of characters like, why are they even here?
The setup was weird and wild, didn't make a lot of sense, but that's okay. I can live with that. And then in the end, like I said, I saw what they were trying to do with the ending.
I don't think they pulled it off well.
See, I thought the ending they pulled off better than the middle 45 minutes. The middle 45 minutes was
pretty brutal.
This seemed to me like if you'd gotten Kevin Smith back in his Clerks days and he was told, okay, here's another credit card, go make a horror movie. This would have been the horror movie he would have made. It had a lot of a Kevin Smith feel to it. I'm not saying that in a positive way. I'm saying that in a low budget,
generic.
Yeah. And some of the dialogue with the characters.
There was a lot of dialogue homage to all the horror movies of the past.
And you've got the stereotypical, you got the geek who knows all about the rules in the horror movies. Is he, does he know too much?
Yep. And then you've got the jealous jock.
Yep. And you've got the final girl who might be the only decent female in the entire one versus the airhead twits.
Yeah, you got your stoner dude.
Again, I have seen far worse big budget. Smile comes to mind.
No, we've seen some big budget bombs.
Yes. This I would say was better than the first Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey, not as good as the second. So I will put it in there. I will put it in at 1.5 frenzies.
That's where it falls.
Yeah. Not the bottom of the barrel. Definitely not recommendable.
Unless you like the cheesy, stupid, low-budget horror movies like we do.
Right. But
just don't expect great things. Don't expect mediocre things.
Yeah. It's an hour and 20 minutes. Let's put it that way.
And it's so much better than I saw the TV glow.
That's true. That is true. Let's
not pull punches. The acting in this was better. The storyline was better. Everything was better.
Yeah, I really fired you up on that, didn't I? Again, nominated for an award.
I cannot express my disdain and hate for that movie anymore.
Yeah, oh my God. And then to be told, I don't get it. My daughter tells me I didn't get it.
What was there to get?
Don't do that pretentious shit to me. I can't stand it. Just say, well, I liked it. You didn't? Okay. That I'm fine with.
Yeah.
But don't tell me. Let me explain it to you, or let me educate you, or you didn't get it. Never, ever, ever say that to me. Never.
This is the second time this week we've gotten this rant.
Yep. If
you want to hear the first sports.
Go back to the sports edition for the first
one.
That
dropped on the 5th.
Now, of course, last week I gave you my tragic tale of canceling my Hulu and my Disney Plus, and of course, Black Friday rolled around, and they gave me the same offer for another year, so I said, okay, $3 a month for another year, I'll do it. So, me blowing through all these movies on Hulu was pointless, so I have a bonus movie review that wraps up that futile attempt to watch as much as possible on Hulu before I canceled it, which I didn't. That's fine, though. I did want to watch this movie anyway. The latest in the new series of the Planet of the Apes movies, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Of course it's on Hulu.
I can't believe you guys haven't... $3 a year?
We don't
a
want
month
another
for a year?
damn streaming service.
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is... I liked it. It is not action-packed. I will say that. Maybe that explains why it's getting lower reviews than some of the other earlier installments, is because this is more of a...
Cerebral.
It's more of a building block to lead into what's coming next. But after what happened in the last movie, the death of Caesar, leading into many generations later where you have the humans and the apes separated off on their own, trying to rebuild their respective communities. The apes do not think there are humans out there anymore who are intelligent, who can really speak after the virus. The humans live in fear of the apes now because, of course, they can communicate. They are now the dominant species. So, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes sees the apes fighting amongst themselves, the peaceful apes versus
the warmongers.
Warmongers who have been lectured and taught by a human about the Roman Empire and Caesar, the real Caesar, not the peaceful Caesar from the previous movies. Yeah. So now they have taken on more of that Roman Empire type attitude, and now you get the humans coming back into play, trying to help the apes whose peaceful communities have been taken over and they've been enslaved. And then you get rebellion, but you get a really cool twist where this is all happening on the West Coast, and there is a weapons depot that the apes cannot breach, even though they know what they say the tools of man are back there. And if we get the tools of man, then we will be able to take over the world. And one of the humans that they run across, the peaceful apes, basically says, you cannot let them get in there. If they get in there, this is over. It's all over for the humans. It's all over for the peaceful apes. And so then it's who can get in first, who can either get the weapons or destroy the weapons. So you do get a very action-packed last half hour. But I enjoyed it. I thought in terms of storytelling and building the myth up for what's going to come next, because of course it's still got a very big open-ended
the whole story line through.
So I don't know what the next one's going to be. What, are we ready for Battle for the Planet of the Apes, maybe? I don't think we've done that one yet.
No, it's got to be pretty close to that.
But I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. I give it a solid 3 frenzies. And the special effects are still mind-boggling to me. Growing up, like you did, seeing the original movies.
Oh, the latex face masks.
And how it's all now computer-generated and they just flow. So, I mean, there's no flaws. There are no flaws to the computer-generated animation or the generated apes.
Nice.
And I know that it's people walking around in these suits with the ping-pong balls on them, but just, it's phenomenal in terms of you're in awe watching this. Now.
Nice.
Going back to Clerks, though, you're looking at a movie that probably cost $200 million minimum to make versus a movie that he put on his parents' credit cards.
For what, $25,000?
Yeah. Just makes you wonder.
Yeah.
Just makes you wonder. Are we putting too much money into these generic...
Into some things, yes.
Look at the box office this past week. Do you want to see Mona 2
No.
Do you want to see Wicked?
No.
Do you want to see maybe Gladiator 2?
Not particularly.
Yeah, but yeah, it doesn't grind my gears. I'll probably watch it on streaming.
Eventually.
Yeah, but these are the big movies. Super Mario Brothers and Barbie. I don't want to see any of these movies. And don't tell me it's because I am old. I wouldn't have gone to see those movies when I was 18.
No, I wouldn't have either. My boys had no interest in any of that.
Right. So I
And
guess
they're in that
all we're going to
wheelhouse.
appeal to now is women and kids under the age of 12. There are no adult movies anymore for men, especially.
Very few.
And by the way, speaking of that, first 8 minutes of Kraven the Hunter are now online.
Oh, the first 8 minutes
Yes.
now. Oh.
So I have watched them. Getting very excited for that. Of course, that is going to be a Sports Frenzy movie night out.
Yes, it is.
But yes, the first 8 minutes of Kraven the Hunter are now out online as Sony is trying to get everybody excited.
Geared up for it.
Yes, and I'm just sad to report that it doesn't seem like it's generating a ton of buzz. Now, that could be because these previous Spider-Man movies have failed so badly with Morbius and Madam Web.
Right.
Doesn't matter how good Kraven could be, that it's going to get dragged down by its predecessors, and people aren't trusting what Sony's doing with the Spider-Man universe right now.
People aren't trusting what any studio is doing with any of the comic book characters anymore.
Then, of course, not a lot of news in TV streaming and movies, but pop culture in general. Remember, a follow-up on a dumbass. I love my dumbass follow-ups. Remember when I talked about how they misprinted the boxes on the Wicked dolls?
Yes.
That took everybody to a porno site?
Yes.
Well, now the damage has come to roost. We're starting to see lawsuits.
Of course
There
we
has
are.
been a $5 million lawsuit filed against Mattel only. Not the movie studio.
No,
Mattel
because
only,
it's Mattel Toys, and
Yep.
they are the ones that printed.
for putting out the Wicked dolls with the adult website.
Wicked.com.
We are in no way,
Wicked
shape,
the
or form.
movie.
We are in no way, shape, or form affiliated with www.wicked.com. Do not go to www.wicked.com.
Wait, what was that? One more time.
Especially if you are adverse to seeing group sex, bestiality, gangbangs, golden showers, whatever it might be. Sorry.
Had to check it out. Had to do the research.
I don't do that anymore. I don't. That I'm too old for. And then, in a bold move, which I appreciate and love, but I don't know how they're going to enforce it, Australia, despite the fact I'll never go there because they have what?
The top 10 deadliest of everything.
They have banned anybody under the age of 16 from social media.
Brilliant.
The first country in the world to do anything like this.
Absolutely brilliant move.
God, do you realize how much of this bullshit we have to deal with in America would go away if they did this here? All the ads about, oh, the teens are depressed and you've got to look out, teen suicide. If you didn't have social media, they'd be fine. They'd be out playing in the park, playing football, playing
Instead
baseball
of
with their
bullying
friends.
each other online.
Yeah.
Hiding behind the randomness.
So kudos to Australia for this brilliant, bold move. All right, so now we move on to TV and streaming. Our shows for the week. We're going to add a new one starting next week with DC's Creature Commandos on HBO Max.
Looks like it could be very entertaining.
Yep, the first official entry in the James Gunn DC universe, even though it's animated. But we've got a couple of characters that we will know from the Suicide Squad.
Oh.
But I'm sure it'll be politically incorrect, so looking forward to that.
Hopefully it will be.
Starting next week, as
Yep.
new episodes have dropped, as you're listening to this, on December the 7th. Now, the shows that Dave and I have been watching that we're going to, unfortunately, have to wrap up in different ways. Start off with Tracker, which wraps up for this mid-season holiday break.
Yep, we will have that for you next time.
Didn't catch up yet, or
no? We've got. I thought one more.
Oh,
Tracker is done. That's right.
Yeah,
Tracker is done.
So did you watch it?
Yes.
Okay.
Fully caught up.
All right. So Tracker this past Sunday, episode 8, was the last until we get into 2025.
Yep.
Getting a little cliffhanger because we got the whole to be continued thing at the end, which is extending the story from the first episode here of season 2.
Yep.
This
the white whale case.
The 10-year-old case that Coulter Shaw has not been able to solve.
He can't let it go.
And so he brings in, a couple episodes ago, an old cop as he helps him with his case, enlists him to do some work on this case for him.
It takes a little dark turn. I kind of like it.
Yep. So we're left with a little bit of a cliffhanger.
Yep. How far will it go? How far will Colton go to solve this one?
Yep. And he's letting the other guy go a little bit further.
But he's not stopping him.
Right. So, enhanced interrogation techniques. But yeah, we'll see how far Coulter will go with this. The thing I like about it is they let him, here over the first season and a half, they have let him push things a little bit more than your typical network show.
Yes.
A little bit more violent. He's quick to draw his gun. He's not a namby-pamby.
No, he is not. It's a breath of fresh air.
He does have boundaries.
Yeah, he does have his code.
Right. But he looks like he's willing, like you said, to go into some dark places now to solve this one case. And this case has had impacts on his personal life.
Yes.
As we get at the beginning of episode 8, we see a development in his personal life.
Yes, something that we had not seen prior.
And this kind of tears me up. Because there's part of me that wants him to be the lone wolf, but then part of him that is like...
needs a connection.
Yeah, I'd like to see him get more of a connection with somebody.
Yeah. We'll see.
Now, we'll see what happens. I'm sure they'll bring his brother back into play, his sister back into play, definitely. Because there's another storyline there that they have not come close yet to resolving.
Though the whole family drama mystery of what happened to the dad still needs to get resolved.
Yep. So even though I usually shun network TV, I'll once again say Tracker is definitely worth watching.
Absolutely.
Again, based on a book series by a reputable author, when they're pulling from that kind of a source and not just a hack bunch of writers in a room putting together whatever they can spin off of a former idea and turn into something new, then you're okay.
Yeah, no, they're doing well with this one.
Then we get to What We Do in the Shadows. This one, the sad news is we are 2 episodes away
from the series being done. Ugh.
This past Monday was episode 9 of season 6, and yet another movie homage.
Oh my God!
Just like we
Come
discussed,
out and play.
just like we discussed a few weeks ago with the brilliant Apocalypse Now.
This we get the homage to the Warriors.
Which makes up for last week.
Oh my God!
Episode 8 might be the one episode out of all the seasons, all the shows throughout 6 seasons you could skip.
Yeah, that was just bad on every level.
Yes, it's partially kind of a riff on Law and Order.
Partially,
Behind the scenes, maybe a little bit.
Not really.
But then the other storyline fails miserably too.
Yeah, it was just a bomb episode.
Yeah. But yeah, they bounce back very nicely here with episode 9 with this homage to the Warriors.
Oh,
I'm
so
surprised
good.
you guys. The one scene that hit me personally was in the coffee shop when
got a shot for Nandor.
yeah,
Should have been a
I'm the
double.
barista that majored in graphic design, and then I heard somebody say Cass. I'm like, oh Jesus, it's my life.
Yes, that was I didn't want to say it. Yes.
But the whole episode, of course, is very, very, very smart, very well done.
That was top tier.
Yep.
Top tier.
Yep. So, reminding me a lot of the final season of Seinfeld, where they pulled out all the stops and they basically threw everything they could at the wall, and most of it's going to stick.
Yeah.
But there was the occasional miss.
Yeah, I just hope that the final episode of Shadows isn't as bad as the final of Seinfeld, where it just kind of fell flat.
Yeah. Yeah, that was arguably the worst episode of Seinfeld was the last one.
Yeah, one of the worst series-ending episodes ever.
Yep. For a brilliant, brilliant series.
Yeah.
Now, of course, I've been watching Yellowstone. Almost done with that as well. That one's going to be done here in a few weeks. Season 5, episode 12. The thing is, I would love to take a week off from Yellowstone. Problem is, they're killing somebody off every week, and you have got to watch them. Otherwise, they're going to spoil it. They tried it again this week.
Of course they did.
This was not Deadline.com. Fox spoiled this.
Really?
Fox News. Within 24 hours of the episode airing, Monday afternoon, they showed a picture of the character that got killed off. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? You're not even going to give us a day to watch the goddamn episode? Now, luckily, I had watched it at that point.
But still, there's no excuse for that. Deadline
Tried to spoil it, but at least did not show a picture. They said, warning, another character dies, and it's this group of people. So they told you basically it was going to be...
One of these.
Yeah, one of these 4 or 5 people.
Just stop with that shit already. Quit fucking ruining everything.
It must be us being older versus the younger people must just be used to the spoilers. Because nobody complains about it.
I don't want spoilers.
Give us 2 weeks. How about
at least a week?
Let's put a rule to it. 2 weeks. If you haven't watched it by 2 weeks, go ahead and spoil it. That's on me. If I haven't watched it in 2 weeks, that's on me.
But less than a day is ridiculous.
So I've got to keep up on Yellowstone now, and maybe this is part of their insidious plan, is because they're going to spoil it for me if I don't. Of course, there is still one character out there that needs to be killed, and they better goddamn well kill him in the next few weeks, because I'm sure I'm saying this for a lot of other Yellowstone fans.
Get rid of the two-timing brother.
I didn't say that, Dave. You said that.
And
You don't even watch the goddamn show.
I don't even watch the show.
Get rid of the two-timing brother and have him killed by Kelly Riley while she's fully naked.
That works.
In this past episode, my God, her character actually acted like a human being. Beth Dutton actually showed caring and compassion for other people.
What?
And I was like...
Was it a dream sequence?
No, but she did say at one point, if I've got to be the therapist for this family, we're fucked. And I was like, okay, take off your top now. No, just kidding. Kind of. Maybe not.
Not.
And then finally, we have what I perceive as a continued problem with WWE.
Uh-oh.
Because we had the latest pay-per-view War Games this past Saturday, Survivor Series. They are really dropping the ball here. They are not making these wrestlers interesting. They're not making the storylines interesting. Are we seeing
the downfall?
The lack of Vince McMahon being involved? Are we maybe seeing the fact that Triple H cannot run this company creatively the way Vince McMahon did? Because these storylines he's coming up with, these fights are not engaging.
Well, they're not having. They're
like
not having the champions defend their title or wrestle on a consistent basis.
And they're getting lazy with the fights, and it's getting to the point now where they're like tapping each other with chairs and acting like it's doing. They're going way over the top with, you know, oh my God, he hit me. Oh my God. You got to sell it better than this, is what I'm saying. They are not selling this.
Or is it the lack of talent?
I think it's a combination. I really think it is. They're not pushing the talent as far as they need to. What you said applies as well. You're not getting these big, massive matches because they're not building up the characters enough to make it matter. And now I'm hearing we're looking at The Rock versus Roman Reigns. Nobody cares about that.
That's done.
And then bringing John Cena back for WrestleMania. No, I hate John Cena.
No.
The only good thing they've done recently is they turned Kevin Owens into a heel. And he's going to be fighting Cody Rhodes. They're bringing back Saturday night's main event. That's coming up this Saturday night, a week from today, the 14th of December on NBC. So it's going to be on network TV like it used to be.
Yeah, we'll see.
So maybe we'll get a little something cool there. But no, I've been very disappointed. This is why I'm not watching Raw. I am not watching SmackDown, any of it. And again, we got to be scared about Netflix taking over at the beginning of January, and then the football games on Christmas Day.
Yeah, are they going? Have they fixed their streaming issue?
And I did not like what Triple H said about that, because they had a big press conference here a couple days ago about it. Triple H said, "Oh, well, if we get a couple glitches and a couple blips, and we still get tens of millions of viewers, I'll be fine with it." It's like, that's a bullshit attitude to take.
No.
That's a bullshit attitude to take.
There better not be any
It better
glitches.
be seamless. And if it's not seamless, you should take Netflix and rake them over the coals. And not take, we're just happy we get more viewers and more money.
No.
All right. Moments of silence. Only got one this week. From the world of rock and roll. Not a band that Dave and I normally care about, but they are big. This is another band playing Soldier Field in 2025. And I cannot believe it. This is more my daughter's speed. My Chemical Romance. Their drummer from 2004 to 2010, Bob Breyer, passed away.
Thoughts and prayers to their family and friends.
But yeah, they're playing Soldier Field.
How are they still that relevant?
This is maybe why you and I sometimes feel lost.
We're just music snobs.
I knew they were pretty big, but not Soldier Field big.
No.
Not Soldier Field big. All right. Again, just like with the sports edition, I showed restraint. So only 4 dumbasses to choose from this week.
All right. Let's find out which one
Did we actually come up with a dumbass last week? We went through all the contenders. Did we actually choose them?
Yes.
Okay. Just want to make sure this week we choose a dumbass.
Yes. Which of these 4 is the Red Foreman dumbass of the week?
Okay, let's start off with Jaguar, the car company.
Oh my God.
Which has gone completely off the rails in recent months with their ad campaigns. And now the latest is they released concept car images for their Type 00. And one in particular of the two has caught the attention of many, many people, as it looks like a pink Batmobile.
God.
But they claim it's Miami pink.
Right.
But when you take this and look at it with the context of their recent ad campaign,
with the colorful whatevers,
yeah,
with no car at all.
Yeah. Yeah, when you say whatevers.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't tell what gender, what sexual orientation. Was it copy nothing is what they're calling it?
Yeah, it was dumb.
A lot of people are looking at this and saying this is the latest dumbass step from the current regime running Jaguar. It's a shame because it's an awesome car too. That's the sad thing. Okay, now maybe on this one I'm overreacting a little bit, but when you are a disgraced celebrity, okay, and you've been accused of some pretty heinous stuff, do you feel that the right way to go when you're trying to pull yourself back into the public eye is to mock and make fun of those things that you did?
That's not a good idea. Why are you reminding the people of what you've done?
Well, remember Armie Hammer?
I want to eat you?
Yeah. The whole cannibal stuff and with
manipulative,
the more serious abuse
Yeah.
allegations behind it. Well, Armie's trying to make himself more welcome in Hollywood, trying to get himself back into the public eye.
Was he hosting a dinner party? Is he having some old friends for dinner?
With some fava beans and a nice Chianti. He made a guest appearance in a music video by, I don't know who this is, Georgie Leahy.
Okay.
But then again, I don't know a lot of these musicians out there now, so I'm not going to hold that against him. But he makes a guest appearance in Georgie Leahy's music video, Typical Squeeze. And at the end, they run credits for who was in the video. And he's listed as Cannibal Ken.
Oh, Lord.
So I don't know if the video is a mocking thing of Barbie.
Or what?
But why would you reference yourself
as Cannibal Ken?
Yes. That just seems like a very dumbass move to me.
Yeah, it's not smart.
Maybe come in a little bit more subtle, a little bit more under the radar, guest starring in some serious roles.
Yeah, don't do...
Not show up in a music video saying you're Cannibal Ken. A guy that we like. A guy that we really, really like. But I've told you in the past, I'm done with him. I'm getting a little bit sick of him. Now, it's good news for you in a way.
No.
Daniel Craig. Former James Bond.
Yeah.
Came out recently and said that James Bond as a character is a laughable construct of masculinity. And of course, this is a man who has recently been playing
a gay guy.
Gay characters in multiple movies. In the Knives Out movies, in the new movie Queer. So I've said to you, one of your crushes, Rachel Weisz, might be out there. He might be a beard.
There could be an opportunity.
He might be a beard here.
I
know he's got a couple kids, supposedly. But I'm beginning to wonder what's going on with him. Mocking the character that made him famous.
Yeah, that pushed him to the forefront.
Saying he's a laughable construct of masculinity. I'm tired of everybody ripping on masculinity. What is wrong with a good action hero? What is wrong with a dude who kicks ass and takes names?
Wrong. Who wants to defend those who can't defend themselves.
I don't understand how that has become a source of mockery in this world. Toxic masculinity. Toxic this.
That's what I was going to say. I got your toxic masculinity here.
I will never be, never, ever, 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 ever be the guy who will say, oh, maybe they're right about this. Maybe we should tone it down a bit.
No, how about we crank it back up a little bit?
A lot.
There are lines that have been crossed. I will not deny that. But come on.
But there's nothing wrong with a show like Reacher.
Oh, hell no.
It's the male fantasy. No attachments, no ties, wandering the world, wandering the U.S.
Righting wrongs.
Getting laid when you can.
Yep, exactly.
So Daniel Craig, you're really making me wonder about you, buddy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, wouldn't you?
You're great as James Bond, but now for you to come
around... Your man card is about to be revoked.
Yes. And by the way, even though this really isn't a political take, I did research his background. He went to Guildhall, which I believe is a university of acting and music. So, of course, he got a degree in acting and or music. So, once again, I don't know if he's really qualified to comment on masculinity and gender studies. But that's just me. Again, these are the new guidelines I've put into place. And that'll bring me to my final dumbass of the week. Now, of course, this is the ancillary. The primary, we know, has a degree. You better goddamn well, because it's the President of the United States. In one of the most egregious, stupid, dumbass moves in political history, our President, Joe Biden, pardoned his corrupt, disgusting son, Hunter Biden,
for everything.
Even though he said he wasn't going to a couple months ago. And all the bullshit liberal media believed him and said how brave Joe Biden is for standing there and saying, my son will face the law. How are you feeling now? And Whoopi Goldberg, God damn it, I'm going to triple strap your ass into the plane of doom for now you going out there and trying to tell everybody, oh, this is a fine thing he did. This is a wonderful thing he did. And how dare you call him a liar? He's a fucking liar. I still can't believe Ted Danson actually slept with that thing. And then we've got, finally, to tie into this, this is my last little topic, and then we're done. I got a little quiz for you.
Pop quiz, hot shot.
Yep. Now, Sean Penn actually came out and called Joe Biden brave or proud. He was proud of Joe Biden. That's a direct quote. Proud of him for pardoning his son. Now, number one.
So it's okay to be a criminal.
So, number one, I had to look up the great and glorious Sean Penn, the guy who goes over to the Ukraine on the behalf of the U.S. and does all these wonderful things, supposedly. Meanwhile, he's got a history of abusing women.
He's got a history of a lot of issues.
Sean Penn has no college education whatsoever. Yet this is the guy who is qualified to negotiate and discuss world politics with Ukraine. So here's my last thought. We've got our dumbasses. We've got Joe Biden, Daniel Craig, Jaguar, and Armie Hammer. But going back to Sean Penn, we have the plane of doom. Okay? I get it. We got the plane of doom. And please tell me we're going to put Sean Penn on the plane of doom.
I thought he already was.
Okay. But we're going to do a little subsidiary thing here. 3 male only, 3 celebrities. If you could get them in Thunderdome, who would they be? Because I tell you right now, my first 2 are Sean Penn and Alec Baldwin. Now, I'm not stupid enough to put somebody who could beat my ass in there. I'm picking people who I think I could take. Sean Penn is a little pissant runt who thinks he's a tough guy.
See, Colbert and Kimmel.
See, that's too easy, though. That's too easy. I like it. Don't get me wrong. I like it. Those 2 would just be no challenge. I want the guys who think they're tough. No, I'm not saying, if you want to go.
They were going at each other to see who would come out.
No, you pick who you want to go after in Thunderdome. I want to beat Sean Penn's ass. I want to beat Alec Baldwin's ass. That's how much I hate those 2.
How about the old bastard De Niro?
De Niro would be a good one. De Niro would be great. Great pick. But somebody needs to teach these bullies a lesson. And I think it's you and I.
Stop being the fucking bullies. Stop telling people what to do and believe. We can make up our own minds.
Oh, see, so Colbert and Kimmel aren't bad. Kimmel might actually be my number 3. Colbert, I dismiss him as an idiot. Kimmel is a hypocritical fucking liar who needs to get his ass kicked.
Yeah.
I might go there. That's my 3. I go Sean Penn because he thinks he's tough, and I would love to just kick his ass. Same for Alec Baldwin. And Kimmel, somebody just needs to shut his mouth up.
There you go.
Who are you taking? Are you going to go Dalai Lama on me and go pacifist?
No. Baldwin, De Niro, and Kimmel.
I like those. Yep. Yeah, De Niro would be up there on mine, too. I just don't know if it'd be considered elderly abuse.
Probably would be. So that's why
But he runs his mouth like he's a tough guy.
Like a tough guy still.
Yeah. There you go, kids. Now we have to decide on the dumbass of the week.
Jaguar.
Yeah. I got to go with the president. That's just wrong.
It is on every level.
You can't tell everybody.
Pardon whoever you want.
I know, but you can't tell everybody you're not going to do it and then do it. It's just,
That's politics.
I know it's
That's
politics.
what politicians are. Nobody should be surprised.
I know, you're right. I know. I know. Would Trump do the same thing for his son?
Absolutely.
Probably. Yeah. I know.
He did it
But
for
still.
Kushner's dad, who was up on tax evasion charges.
I guess I should be happy that at least it's not like the Clintons and they're just killing people outright.
This is true.
But you didn't hear that here. Wait. Oh, I can hear the black helicopters now. All right, that's going to do it for Dave and I this week. My best friend, my brother from another mother, the Conquistador Dave Heights.
My best friend, my brother from another mother, the maestro Kevin Crane.
We hope you enjoyed another fantastic, awesome, fun-filled edition of the Weekend Edition. And we'll be right back here doing it in 7 days with our review of Night Ranger. We'll start talking about Creature Commandos and our review of the movie Speak No Evil, which right now as you're listening is on Peacock. So there you go, kids. Of course, we're suckers for a good horror movie.
Yep, what can we say?
And we're suckers for bad ones, too. Hence the mousetrap. But
so bad it was almost good.
Don't forget to check out the Sports Edition every Thursday morning. If that's not your cup of tea, we'll be back in 7 days, like I said, doing this all over again.
Check out the Facebook page. Give us some suggestions.
So go out, be responsible, be safe.
Uber if you have to.
We know next Friday night you probably won't be, and that's why we'll be doing this again. So until then, say goodnight to the kids, Dave.
Good night to the kids, Dave.